What's up, guys? SpecsTar here today with my weeks 4 and my weeks 5 battle for UNL, and I had to do these videos together because I had to catch up. I am a little bit behind, and after I do these two, I should be mostly caught up. And of course, I'm behind because of my crazy school schedule, but it should resolve itself very soon. Right now, for me, it's the 18th, and on the 23rd, I have my final exam. After that, my workload will go down from 4 double, I don't know what you call them, double the amount of content, the work, classes as a normal class. And in the next semester, we'll go down from 4 of those to 1 of those, so I should be able to be a lot better with my uploads after then. And I might be sweating a bit here, and that's because it is hot as balls and my fan is not getting the job done. Ooh, but anyway, sweat aside, I'll try to give as good commentary as I can on these two battles. And unfortunately, I'm going into them with a 1-2 record. This is basically my final stand. I'm not used to having a losing record, and it's only an 8-week league, so I kind of have to get my shit together quickly so I can have a shot to make it back into the playoffs and try to repeat as champion. Definitely not having the big 6-0 season we had last season, but oh well. As long we just have to try and get ourselves back there. The start does not matter if we are able to end it off well enough. So Hero Killer's got a team consisting of Tapu Fini, Entei, the always dangerous Mew, Frostlass, which I was a little bit underprepared for Frostlass. I mostly just had offensive checks to it in Weavile and Kartana, and aside from that, mostly just had my Milotic to deal with it. And then he has Terrakion and Bronzong. And I have a team here consisting of a 3-attack Mega Latios with, I believe it had Defog, right? Either it or Mana Buzz. As I said, I am catching up. This game was from a little bit back, like a week and a half ago or something. And I had a banded Weavile, also a banded Kartana. Just wanted to make sure I could break through the bulk in his team early, and he didn't have that much speed, so I was able to put that focus on power. A Flame Orb Milotic, a physically defensive Mandibuzz, and an Assault Vest in Lucas. So let's dive right into this. I might as well, I'll try slow and see if it's gonna. I'm going to lead off with Weavile, and he's going to lead off with Bronzong, and of course I'm dubious of that. I believe he did wind up having Colbur Berries, so I made the right choice getting out there. I'll go to my Mandibuzz. If he got off rocks, I could defog them away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mandibuzz was the defogger. And he goes into Fini. I'm just going to click Knock Off, covers whatever he'd want to do. And it's nice to knock the leftovers off that thing so we know we can wear it down. And Amoonguss just always comes in on this thing. He does, interestingly enough, short of me, knock off, and apparently I have Black Sludge Amoonguss, so that just shows how good my memory is there. And he's going to go into Mew, and I'm going to pop its Colbur Berry, and that's going to be nice for Weavile later. And I'll go into my Latios, and he actually shows to be U-turn, which is pretty interesting, got me a little bit off guard there. And he goes Fini, and I'm going to go into my Milotic here because with how free Amoonguss is, I thought he might try to be aggressive and go Entei. And Milotic covered both that, potentially going out into Frostlass, and it wasn't really that big of a drawback if he did leave his Fini in. I'm able to get my Flame Orb off at the very least, and I'll bring in my Amoonguss here, and he's going to Nature's Madness me, which is fine because I have Regenerator. Took out a Zong on a Sludge Bomb, which I was just throwing off because it kind of covered Entei and just his Fini staying in. And I'm going to bring in my Mandibuzz on his Bronzong. It's going to be my switch into this for a lot of the game. I want to get rid of those rocks right away. do not like rocks with my team very much. And he goes out into Terrakion, which is a big problem. And I'm going to go into my Milotic, and based on the damage, I think it very well could be a Scarf Terrakion, which makes sense with my team. But he shows to be the Z move, and he's going to be able to take out my Milotic, which does make things a little bit easier, him being that set for my offensive checks, but having Milotic go down is obviously catastrophic for me. I'm going to go for the knockoff here because he just did not have a great way to switch in on that. He's going on his Terrakion here as I throw off another knockoff. I did consider doubling, but I didn't know how much he'd want to save the Bronzong there. And I'll go into my Latios thinking a potential close combat might come off, but he actually shows to be rock polish, and it's kind of crisis mode here. And I'm going to go into my Mandibuzz, and he's going to land the Stone Edge there, and he's going to take it out again. And so I'm going to have to go out into my Amoonguss, which can take this hit from quite a few variants. He's going to miss his Stone Edge, yeah, I'm going to be able to get my Giga Drain there. He, with his set, I believe he would have been able to take us out, but to do so, he would have had to land 3 of them in a row, and the numbers on that aren't very great at all. Still unfortunate for him that did happen, but Mon's gonna Mons. That's how it is. He'll bring out his Bronzong, and I have to go into my Kartana here, save my Magic Mushroom. His Heavy Slam will do 0, and I'll be able to take it out with a knockoff now that he's no switch-ins on this thing at all. Even when it just knows it's going for knockoff, aside from maybe the Feeny there, which never wants to come in on it. And I'm still thinking that he probably wouldn't want to just let Amoonguss come in for free on it, but he just remains not pairing him. My plan to try to catch an Entei there with a knockoff or Frostlass does not work, and my Kartana is going to get weakened, and then I will go into my Magic Mushroom. He'll bring Mew in on it, and he's just going to soft boil that thing up, and I'm going to get my Synthesis too. And here he'll throw off a U-turn, and I believe I just went for the Sludge Bomb or Giga Drain here. Yeah, I went right for the Sludge Bomb. And Frostlass here is pretty threatening to me. I'm going to go into my Weavile, and he's actually going to make a good play here and click his Wake Up Slap. So kudos to him on that play, predicting the Weavile. And unfortunately here I have to try to win a speed tie, and I don't, and that's going to be the game. Frostlass is going to wind up cleaning up, and we're going to unfortunately start off with our first career 1-3 start, which I was not happy about. GG to Killer. He made a good play there with the Wake Up Slap, and a few plays backfired on me there, but that's going to be Mons. I stand by them even though they didn't work out. That's just the way the game is. Sometimes you have to make plays and they don't pan out. And here we go. I've got my next matchup here. I'm going up against Yubby, and this game is basically my version of Custer's Last Stand here. I'm 1-3. My only hope is to really run the tables here. This is a game where I said before this game that if I lose this game, I'm going to drop some of my Mons and just try to build a team that's kind of meme-ish and fun to use, because if I lose this game, I have no chance of making the playoffs realistically. So there is quite a bit at stake here for the remainder of the season. That being said, I definitely am not one to take a loss sitting down, and I did come in this game prepared to give it my all, make a final stand here against Yubby, and if I do go down, I'm going to go down kicking and screaming, and that's what I will do here. My man Yubby here's got a team consisting of Whimsicott, Kyurem, Persian Alola, Zapdos, Reuniclus, and Mega Mawile. And Mega Mawile is a big threat I pinpointed. I had to bring Mandibuzz almost exclusively for Reuniclus because that thing's just so threatening to the rest of my team. And I had a team here with a Scarf Heatran, which actually looks really promising here from matchup. just spamming Fire Blast. He really cannot switch in from the looks of it too easily on it. I've got here a Flame Orb Haze in my low tick, which is basically the only thing I can possibly bring to reliably come in on Mawile, if you'd call that reliable. It's about as reliable as it gets for switching in on Mawile, which, for those of you who know Mega Mawile, is no simple task. Even down in PU, that thing runs offensive sets. Regular little Mawile down in PU runs offensive sets, and there's no switching in that little tier for it. So some things never change. And here I did have an Assault Vest Amoonguss, not the same as the Assault Vest Amoonguss I had for Killer. This is a real one. And I had an Adamant 252 HP Piloswine. Well, not 252. It was mostly HP. I put a little bit in speed in case he wanted to try to outspeed my Piloswine with his Mawile. And my Pinsir is actually going to be Z Me First Moxie. And for those of you who don't know, what Z Me First does is, let's say, let's just take Reuniclus for example. If I have Pinsir out on it and Reuniclus is about to click Psychic, and I click Z Me First, the first thing that happens is I'll send his Psychic back at him with a Shattered Psyche. And also my speed is going to increase 2 times, so I'm going to be at +2 speed, and I'll throw his moves back at him. So essentially my plan was to win with Pinsir, get the speed boost, and start to compound some Moxie boosts. I had Earthquake, which hit Mawile, X-Scissor, which hit basically everything, and Stone Edge for Zapdos. So in this game I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking about Pinsir. The unfortunate thing is, as well as Pinsir, he has a hard time switching in on Pinsir, but I don't have too many opportunities based on this matchup to make the Z Me First work, so I'll have to try to figure something out in this game, and you guys will just see what happens here. And he's going to lead off with his Kyurem here, and I'm fearing a potential Scarf Earth Power. I'm going to go right into my Piloswine. He's going to sub up, but I'm going to take this as my chance to get up rocks. I'm going to break this thing sub with Earthquake, so if Piloswine does go down, I'm going to be breaking his sub with me so the thing doesn't keep its sub. This is actually a super threatening set to my team, so kudos to him for bringing it. The team I brought of 6 Mons, I didn't bring a lot of the things that can put the pressure in on sub-Kyurem, and that's going to really come to bite me in the butt. And in this game, if I'm going to beat this Kyurem, I'm going to have to play really careful around it and negating any free chances it can have to switch in. And that's something that throughout this game I'm going to be very careful about. And here I'm actually going to throw off a Toxic here instead of clicking Earthquake in case he tried to roost up. But he's just going to kill me with Earth Power. I'm a little optimistic here because the thing will be weak after rocks. And I'm going to go into my Heatran, and he is going to show to be specially defensive based on how well it took that Flash Game. But I get the special defense drop, which is really, really big for me in being able to force this thing out. And he's going to bring out Zapdos, and I'm just going to click Earth Power again. I mean Flash Cannon again. Just playing safe, I didn't really want to take a chance with Kyurem. And I'm going to bring in my Amoonguss on this Zapdos. I didn't have too great a switch in on Zapdos, and Amoonguss would eventually wear the thing down. He's going to Volt Switch out and go into his Whimsicott, and I was actually just fishing for a poison on either Kyurem or Zapdos, so I just went for my Sludge Bomb and I took the Whimsicott down there, which was pretty nice for me. Whimsicott wasn't the biggest threat in the world, but getting it down there is pretty nice. And I'm going to have to bring my Heatran in on Kyurem again. Really, I had to break the thing sub and just try to have it low enough that Pinsir can come in and try to revenge kill it, or at least force it out with Stone Edge. I know it's specially defensive, which means it's not physically defensive, of course, unless it's some sort of mix that's special meaning. And I'm just going to throw off Flash Cannons here, but unfortunately I don't have too many. I'm going to try a little bit to fish for another special defense drop. It was just kind of the situation I was in. Not the situation I was planning to be in, but the one I was in. And he is going to throw off an Earth Power. And I thought it could have been a worse situation if he went fully through with stalling out my Flash Cannon PPs, but fortunately he didn't, and I'm going to bring Pinsir in to force the thing out. I'm just going to click my Stone Edge here, and he'll bring in the Mawile. And I'm going to switch out here, right in my low-tech, my designated answer to it, if you'd call it that. He brings in Zapdos, and I did think it was a real possibility he'd try to Volt into Kyurem, so here I'm just going to throw up a Toxic. I'm really desperate to get rid of that Kyurem, that's just kind of how it is. He does make the good play going out into Reuniclus, and here I'm just going to click Recover and see what he wants to do. I'm not too scared of any Reuniclus variant because I have my Taunt Mandibuzz, fortunately, because he does turn out to be, I don't know if you'd call it dual dance with the Acid Armor Combine, but dual setup Reuniclus, and I'm just going to knock it off first because I obviously don't really need to taunt him before he gets to the point where he'd have to click Recover. If worse comes to worse, I do have Haze on my Milotic, but he does show to be mono-attacking Shadow Ball, so here I know that my Mandibuzz will always shut this thing down if I keep my Mandibuzz alive. So there is some deal of pressure on Mandibuzz. And I'm going to knock off his Persian, and it'll actually show to be potentially Z-move here. So I'm going to U-turn out here, and I really don't have the best answer to it, but he goes for the Z-move, the Black Hole Eclipse, and Pinsir has a little bit of HP, so Pinsir does take those, and I'm able to get the Z-me first off. And I'm going to be able to click X Scissor here, and through his Fur Coat, I'm going to be able to knock him out. So Pinsir here looks really threatening here. He goes into Mawile here, and I actually did think about clicking me first to try to outplay Sucker Punches, but I kind of reined myself in there. The fact that he brought Mawile out did make me think that it might be Sucker, because a lot of variants in Mawiles just dropped Earthquake here, so I thought he might have to be. But I also thought, then again, I started to look over my team and thought that Sucker Punch didn't make the most sense against my team. So here I was just going to click Earthquake and hope he didn't have it. And let's see what happens. I click my Earthquake here. He doesn't have Sucker, but he takes a hit. He's got a lot of HP on his Mawile, and he's going to take my Pinsir out. If he didn't have HP there, I think I would have just ran through it, and that would have been GG, but unfortunately not. I'm going to bring up my Mawile, click Scald. He has nothing to save Mawile for. And here he's going to bring out his Zapdos. I was not scared to bring in my Milotic here, because Kyurem would have to roost first. It would not have the ability to substitute first turn out after Rock, so I was able to click Toxic if he did bring it out, and that's kind of why I wanted. That's why I was fine to have my Milotic out there. And he's gonna throw off a Discharge here, and I was caught off guard there because really got off guard there because I really didn't think he would be Volt Switch Discharge. It's not the most common set in the world, but here it actually does him a solid service, so definitely good prep on Yubby. He's a smart dude. He definitely knows what he's doing when he's building. I see some of his teams, he's definitely an outside of the box thinker, and you gotta be on your toes when you're playing with him. And that's gonna force my Milotic out, but I have to save it because Toxic's really my only way to beat the Kyurem there. And so he's going to throw off a Discharge here, and I believe here I just threw off a Sludge Bomb. I just had to throw off the move that best hit Kyurem because I always want to be ready if he tries to switch that thing in, and I'm very anxious about that possibility of him trying to bring it in at some point. I do not want to give him a free switch in here. We'll throw off a Heat Wave here, and I'm going to throw off another Sludge Bomb. And I believe here I'm going to click the Stomping Tantrum just to do some decent damage in case he goes out. in case he roosts, and he's actually going to throw off a heat wave there, and he's going to let the Zapdos go down. And here we're going to see the Reuniclus come out, and I know that I have my Mandibuzz here, but again here I'm thinking that he could have, my thought process there is that him bringing out Reuniclus, he might be trying to bait in Mandibuzz so he can get a roost off with his Kyurem. That was kind of what I was thinking there. So I did think he would not throw off a Psychic first turn just because Mandibuzz is so obvious there, so I was free to click a Sludge Bomb there with my Amoonguss, and now I will go out into my Mandibuzz. He's very weakened here, and I believe I just threw up a taunt here. Yep, and I did. And he's actually going to go for a Shadow Ball, and that's not going to do much. And I'm going to throw off a knockoff here. And it's going to take a few to take him down because that thing is so damn bulky at this point. And I'm going to click the knock again here. And here his taunt's going to wear off. And back here again, I'm worried about the Kyurem coming in. That thing definitely played with my mind during the game. I thought because of the threat of taunt, he might use that chance to get his Kyurem in for free. So I'm actually just going to click knockoff again here instead of clicking the taunt. Also, if he did recover, it wasn't really the end of the world because Mandibuzz does always shut this thing down. And here I'm going to click a U-turn because that's my chance to get the Toxic off on the Kyurem, because if Mandibuzz was out when Kyurem came in, it would have been able to roost and I probably would have lost. But I'm able to get my Milotic in, and as long as I can land the Toxic, he gets the crit as long as I can land the Toxic, and I do, I'm going to be able to beat this Kyurem. And my Milotic's going to go down, but he's mono-attacking Earth Power, and I've got an Assault Vest Amoonguss. He's going to just try to preserve a little bit of differential here by clicking Roost. Don't blame him. And here he's going to see that Earth Power only does 10%, and he's going to give up here. He's just going to let the thing go down, and I'm going to be able to pick up the W here. And it's a 2 and 3 start, which I'm still not happy with, but it's definitely better than 1 and 4. I'm not going to, on the transaction deadline, I'm not going to make any major transactions. While I haven't had the best season ever, I still think the team I have now gives me the best chance to actually have a chance to win in the remainder of my games. Maybe I'm not right, but that's my belief. And I'm going to keep the team as is as the transaction deadline passes. And basically, I'm in a position here, I've got 3 games left, and I've pretty much got to win all of them for the playoffs. There's another small possibility that I can get in at 4 and 4, but realistically, I've got to finish 5 and 3, and then I have a pretty good chance of getting in. So, my Custer's final stand rolls on. I've got to keep winning, and I cannot afford to get that one more loss. And I do not know defeat. I will not give up, and I'm just going to keep fighting to crawl my way back. As frustrated as I am with my performance this season, I'm definitely not used to having these kind of struggles, but these kind of adversity and when you start to lose, that's when you really have something to improve your game on. So I do acknowledge that there's definitely value in this, and I have to be able to take from this and learn if I want to get better as a player, and I'm working on doing that, and hopefully I can work on doing it fast enough that I can get better and I can stop losing with this team and try to make the playoffs. But it is an uphill road, but we're going to give it our all. I thank you guys for watching up to this point, and I hope you guys will stick with me as I continue my final stand, and have yourselves a good night.